Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts are meant to give everyone a voice, a chance to speak with others who are passionate advocates for expanding the blockchain's use cases out into the world and beyond. Do you have a crypto community you would like to represent and hold open Hangouts for? If so, you might find yourself on the path to owning a stake in Beyond Bitcoin. We are looking for people who care about people who want to bring others together, because crypto communities are people. Beyond Bitcoin is a movement of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. And if you feel you are one of them, reach out to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com for more information on how to debut your community's efforts to reach to the stars and beyond.
Welcome everybody to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is Friday, September 2nd, 2016. We're joined this week by a bunch of people, like we are every week, who are interested in blockchain technology and what it's going to do in the world around us. We gather every week to talk about various crypto projects and to give various crypto projects with community backing the ability to join up and talk about their project, talk about the vision, answer questions, and generally keep a transparent ledger, so to speak, or archive of the progress of those projects throughout the time that we're here covering them. And it's done with the specific intention of giving people a low barrier to entry means of joining up and talking about their own projects. Now, these low barriers to entry may not always exist as more and more projects with more community backing join up. The projects that have strong community backing, they are going to be significantly benefiting from that backing, which means that those who are newer projects are going to have to kind of join up, listen in, participate, and approach other people who are part of their project or their project's community and try to get them to lobby to bring them on. The reason why we do this is because Steemit allows us to do a couple things here. It allows us to pay you out for RSVPing, which if you look today, Peerplays at number one has made $42.84 just for RSVPing. They have given us the appropriate information for us to be able to link to the various places that they want us to in the past. Today, they didn't do it on the RSVP, but it's something that is very important that we make sure that you guys all follow the instructions. The reason I have the instructions is because we want to make sure that we have a somewhat organized and standardized means by which we approach advertising for these projects that are being transparent, bringing a community who loves and lobbies for them, and really provides those updates and allows people to see that their project is legitimate. Because let's face it here, guys and girls, everything in this space is an experiment as it is, and it's very risky. The last risk that we want to have is that a project doesn't have community backing, or has, even worse, a group of people who have been hurt significantly in the past and does not have any means of letting people know about it. This is kind of an attempt to have a self-governing hangout. So I appreciate everybody who participates and upvotes those who participate in the RSVPs. With that said, we are sitting this week at $42.84 for number one, which is Peerplays, and they have been wanting to give an update for a while, but you guys have been pretty busy. Some different things for Peerplays have come up behind the scenes. So before I pass this torch off to you guys, I just want to remind you, and this goes for you, Peerplays, we have instituted something just last week where if you refer somebody who you think is running a great project or is a passionate crypto advocate who's building good things and trying to do good things in the space, and you think that they need to be covered or deserve to be covered, if you RSVP or if you get them to RSVP with you as the referrer, I will be splitting all the SBD earned from that post to the people who are the referrers. So I just want to let everybody know about that. And with that said, Jonathan Bahai or Michael Maloney, who is going to be talking today?
Hi, Fuzzy. It's going to be the both of us.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Just wanted to, sorry for the last couple of weeks. We haven't been able to come on to the show personally. We've been traveling for the Peerplays project and doing a lot of great stuff. And in the coming weeks, you're going to hear a lot more about that. It's going to blow your minds. That's all I can say right now. But what is also really great is that come September 26th, Peerplays Testnet goes live. So we've announced that on Steem, and we will be posting the link in the chat here. And that is the big news. We also have a remake of the Peerplays website coming up at the same time. And we also have the Refer Rewards program being pushed back because we want to have that go hand in hand with the new website. So those are the basic Cole's notes of the update, but I'm going to pass this on to Michael so he can give you more details on some other things happening with Peerplays.
Yeah, great, Jonathan. Thank you very much. My name is Michael Maloney. I'm the communications director and also one of the project managers for the Peerplays project. So I wanted to mention about the BTS token sharedrop. The sharedrop window, the snapshot window rather, began at midnight UTC yesterday, September 1st, and runs through midnight UTC September 16th. So if you do not have your BitShares BTS tokens in your own wallet, in a wallet that you control the keys of, please do that immediately if you want to be eligible for the Peerplays sharedrop. It will take place on a randomly chosen block between midnight on the 1st and midnight on the 16th. So you still have a 15 out of 16 chance of getting in on that share drop if you hurry up and get your tokens into your own wallet as of today. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that. Let's see. Yeah, as Jonathan mentioned, we're pushing the referral rewards program back a few weeks. We made an announcement about a month ago talking about the about how that would work, the parameters and the explaining that a little bit. But we've decided to go ahead and push that off so that that can be a little more closely aligned with the program going forward. And the website as well. Yeah. So we've got. We're putting together a brand new website. It's going to have, information about the platform. There's some new information, as well as we'll have a countdown clock for the auction crowd sale. So we've not announced the dates for the crowd sale yet, but that will all be available and announced on the 26th of September when the new website goes live. So let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else that I can reveal right now. I think that one of the things Jonathan was mentioned that I should mention this morning. So we've talked a little bit about having sports betting on Peerplays. Particularly, I think I've mentioned fantasy football, and I guess I wanted to mention again and reiterate that one of the directions that we've decided to go is in having sports betting sports books. So we've been looking into that extensively over the past few weeks, and we've come up with some really exciting new ideas in terms of putting all that together as one of the first priorities. Once the blockchain is launched and we sort of move into phase 2 of this project. So that's really exciting. I just read an article the other day. I think it was in the Daily Mail, maybe in the UK, one of the big UK newspapers, that estimated that roughly $3 trillion a year is spent. I've seen estimates of everything from $500 billion up to 3 trillion now, apparently. So there's a huge market there. It's probably the, officially the lowest hanging fruit in terms of, potential. Many of those bets, of course, are placed, sort of under the table, so to speak. They're not done legally because a lot of countries have issues with allowing people to bet. So Peerplays is really one of the amazing things we're going to be bringing to the marketplace is the capability for people all around the world, anywhere in the world, to participate in any of the games that we have, including sports betting, and do so in a way that's provably fair and in a way that is sort of all above the board, so to speak, in terms of making sure that you're not getting ripped off by some shady bookie or something like that. So, in any case, that's one of the big things we've been discussing over the past weeks. Like Jonathan said, we were traveling around. We had a number of meetings last week that all went really well. A lot of good new things, and also a lot of solidifying a lot of the plans and ideas that we've had so far. So, but yeah, I guess I'll stop there. I don't want to go too long. I know I usually have the tendency to sort of ramble, but if anyone has any questions, I'll take questions now.
Well, one question that has been asked here is by V-Ball Cool. He said, "Is Neil still on the board or on board with the Peerplays project?"
As of Neil has been. We've been in negotiations with Neil about a particular project that he had brought to the table. He's the owner of a particular game that he was interested in integrating with Peerplays. So that's been the crux of our discussions over the last few months with him. I cannot say 100% for sure. It's unclear to me at this time whether or not he is going to continue with the project. So that's that's something that perhaps may be better directed at him personally, or that's all I can really say about that at this time.
So it's fair to say that at this time, there's no certainty on whether he's made a decision either way yet.
Yes, I would say that's a fair assessment.
Okay. Talkinator says, "Can you elaborate on the testnet at this time?"
Yeah, sure. So I think that so basically the testnet will contain like I've mentioned before, the very first real-time interactive on-chain game. The testnet itself will actually be just a graphene testnet, so it won't be a distributed network, but it'll be all the witness nodes will be run out of the same place, so to speak. And it will have a smart contract that allows players to lock up funds, everyone to buy into a game, into a tournament, to play the game, and then the winner, the blockchain itself, since the game is on the blockchain, will determine the winner and then release the funds to the winner. So it will have those two capabilities, and I wish I could say more about precisely what it's going to have. I don't know if Dan Notstein is listening right now. I see that he's in the room, but he might have just dropped in to record. But we can certainly, I'm pretty sure that it's going to have all of the features that were listed on the original timeline document that we put out back in May. As far as I'm aware, all of those features are going to be available. It will have a GUI so that people can interact with the game, and it won't just be command line, in other words. And in terms of public testing, I believe we're going to be, we're going to have bounties or a running bounty for people that find major bugs in the code. I will more information about all this we're going to have in a couple of weeks. It'll all be spelled out what the deal is. But essentially, you will be able to go on. It'll be easy enough, user friendly enough that you'll be able to go on and schedule a tournament with a friend or with someone just randomly chosen. We have a player matching algorithm. And then you'll be able to play the game and have your funds released to you. So again, since it's on a Graphene testnet, we'll have sort of pretend fund money that you can play with. Everyone will be able to log in, create an account, and then I think we'll probably have an admin or maybe a faucet that will send you some tokens to get started with and play with. So, but yeah, that's the basic explanation of what the testnet will be.
Talkinator said thank you. And I have a question real quick regarding this, and that would be, during this period of time that we're going to have this live testnet, you said that there's a player matching algorithm. Is there a way of actually setting it up with people that you know? As in, technically, could I set something up with all of you?
Yes. Yeah,
here?
So that... we've got provisions for that. It was something that we added sort of late in the game. It was part of the obviously it was going to be part of the smart contract going forward, but in terms of the sort of let's call it the minimum viable product, or I think more of a prototype, which was what we've built, we were considering leaving that out, but we decided to add it in just because it is well, let's face it, it'll be so much nicer to be able to set up a game with a friend and play even on the testnet. So that said, there's probably a possibility that Fuzzy and me can have our showdown match, and maybe we can do a little ordeal with that where we do that publicly or something like that. So we'll look into that. But in any case, yeah.
Well, a Google Hangout would be funny to have for this one, just so everybody can watch you two guys playing.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Chris. I think we should set something like that up for sure.
Well, I've been ready, buddy. That's been stated. So I'll just be a quiet storm until that moment.
So the moment of your epic fall from grace.
We will see, buddy. So some people, when dropped, they just defy gravity.
See that agony of defeat video from the old ski jump rolling right now.
Thomas, does somebody have you in a jar?
Kind of helps if I have my headphone on.
This is a live meetup, everybody.
It really sounded like he was in a jar, trust me.
This is the real deal, everybody.
I was just saying that I can just see those whole videos of the agony of defeat ski jump rolling right now.
Well, people know in general, at least, that whatever they hear is what they get. You know what I mean? It's generally pretty unadulterated, and even the stuff that I do edit out, there are people like all of you guys here with completely raw content that is held, basically on all of your systems. So I guess what I'm saying is that when crypto loses in this game, and there's no practicing crypto because you've got an edge on that one, but I will say that if this is a game of skill and you lose, you're going to be the one who's been known as talk.
Okay. So moving on, I see G Chicken's got a question here in the sidebar. I guess I'll just read it out loud. I noticed in the Peerplays promo video integrations with Peerplays and BitShares. I was also given this impression by the white paper, also backed by Stan's latest posts, which had a graphic of a few projects on what appear to be rails with BitShares in the center. Could you discuss which features or functions may be integrated in the future in relation to sidechains or integrations between Peerplays and BitShares smart coins? So yeah, the sidechains discussion is obviously one that's sort of been in the forefront of a lot of people's minds. In all of crypto, let alone in our little graphene delegated proof of stake space. It's my opinion, and quite a few people that I spoke with over this past week and the meetings that we have as opinions as well, that if some sort of trustless sidechain were to exist right now as we speak, that graphene would basically dominate all of the crypto space, just because of the fact that there's so much that can be done on chain with graphene chains that just makes them far superior in terms of features. And naturally, we all have our theories about what may and could and will and should happen once these pathways are opened up between the chains, where there's more free flow of value and tokens without any middlemen. And at the end of the day, none of us really know precisely how what's going to result of all of that. But that said, I think that ultimately we can still look at this with an eye towards engineering what we want to happen. And in that respect, we definitely believe that there is a ton of value in both the BitShares bit assets as well as the Steem-backed dollars. And these stable tokens are what will be very valuable to the Peerplays network. Peerplays, one of the features that is not being adopted from the basic graphene toolkit is bit assets. So BitShares will be the chain that has that capability amongst the three graphene chains that are currently, the two graphene chains that are currently in existence right now, BitShares and Steem. Steem has its own stable dollar token, which in the short term appears to probably going to end up being a lot more of those in existence. I think there's only a little over 100,000 bit USD in existence right now, and I'm pretty sure Steem-backed dollars are more.
A little over.
Yeah. So and of course, Steem is pumping out Steem-backed dollars every day. So I think that is going to be one of the major advantages in the major sort of potential alliances. The nice thing about side chains is we believe that there's probably a way to do it unilaterally as well, which means that it really doesn't matter if the other chain wants you to side chain to them, you can still do it. And there's a lot of implications there in terms of.
So it's not a choice.
I'm sorry, say it again. Yeah.
I don't know if everybody who's listening realizes how big of a deal that is, or who's going to be listening after this hangout, whenever I post it. But you said that side chaining could be done essentially unilaterally, meaning that essentially as soon as a graphene chain exists, it is usable as a side chain.
Yeah, that would be correct. Or
that's
your particular graphene chain could side chain to any other graphene chain, right? So so essentially that's one of the major features. And in terms of I'm answering G Chicken's question still. Sorry, I got cut off there. So we've got the profit sharing feature. We've got the profit sharing feature of Peerplays, which is unique. It will be unique in the crypto space. In fact, it's actually going to our theory, and we'll see exactly how this plays out. Probably in the short term, this won't necessarily exist, but I think going forward, it definitely will be a factor. Is the reality that because these tokens, because they pay out profits so often, it will probably be relatively difficult for central exchanges to be able to say provide the service to their customers of making sure that their customers get all of the profit sharing tokens that they would be owed for holding the tokens. It's a sort of a complex number of things that would need to be. It would be a lot of development on decentralized exchanges' part to be able to accommodate doing that. So what that means is that there's actually a strong incentive for Peerplays token holders, the core token holders, to hold their tokens actually on the, in their own wallets on the exchange, which sort of is going to, we think, demonstrate a very strong use case, finally, where people are incentivized and motivated to trade on the internal exchange rather than sending, everything off to external centralized exchanges. And, so this is sort of, just another sort of feature that we see as sort of benefiting the space as a whole. I think that combining this with the advent of side chains in the future, we've always talked about this, and everyone here probably has this understanding, at least in the back of their minds, that centralized exchanges are going to start to become obsolete. And the again, the implication of that, and what business models are going to be profitable moving forward is sort of the approach that we've taken in all of this. Being able to future-proof the chain so that when what we know is inevitable reaches the stage of actual implementation, we are prepared and waiting with new models and structures that people can, migrate into, so to speak, not just players, obviously, and end users, but also businesses. Because this is another sort of amazing thing about the graphene technology is that it really is, it really is something that is built so that businesses are incentivized to come and build interoperable software with the chain and make their own, profits and do their own advertising and promotion. And, again, we've started to see a little bit of that with Steem, and I believe we're going to see a whole lot more of that in many other industries as well, not just social media and gaming and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up in the future, and I hope that sort of answered your question, G Chicken.
Well, I got a question for this one. So that means that Peerplays is going to tackle the sidechain development. I think, in the last couple of mumbles, we always talked about this one-to-one pack and with an escrow account combined, so that people can really send, for example, a Bitcoin to a URA Bitcoin on the Graphene blockchain, and then this can be basically shared to all the different users. Are you going to kick off this kind of development?
We have a number of different ideas about side chains. Some of them have been mentioned before. Some of them are, I guess I'll say proprietary at this time, only because it is, sort of also our strategy to develop and then release as we are about to use. One of the development strategies a lot of teams have had in this space have been to develop in the open, and then sort of everyone else can follow along, and by the time you're actually able to integrate it, there's 5 or 6 other groups of people who have gotten in on everything you're doing and are able to compete like that. So what we've done so far has been to develop in private.
Many of whom could call you a scammer.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Fuzzy.
Well, you see that a lot of people who still use BitShares, for instance, they not only do they compete, but they spread misinformation about the same technology that they end up using. So there are negatives to this open source aspect, and what you guys seem to be doing is a kind of hybrid. And this makes it so you are able to be the first movers, but this also means that you're testing the bugs, you're doing all the hard work, and then you're getting a little bit of a lead that you're giving yourself that is going to diminish over time. But you're saying, we put the money into this, we're going to at least give ourselves maybe 6 months to a year using this before we release it to the world, essentially.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that the development can be done in private. All of the code is going to be open source. When it's released, that's the nature of this ecosystem. It has to be that way. However, you don't have to you don't have to make public every single commit along the way while the code is being created.
Okay.
You can put together the entire code base, the new feature, or in the case of what Chris just mentioned, any work that we do on sidechains will be made available all at once. And that type of strategy, I believe, I'm kind of surprised that there aren't other crypto projects, and there are a few that do this as well. But I've seen a lot of crypto projects that just develop everything right out in the open. And while that may be beneficial in some ways in terms of sort of the open sharing and everyone being able to sort of get
really depends.
Yeah, it depends on what you're, what it is you're trying to do. In case of, in our case, this is a blockchain as a business, right? I mean, it's a business for all the participants. It's a business for us. And so, when you're in business, you don't just give away the whole farm, right? You have to, do it strategically, and you have to, do everything you can to make sure that you can maintain your competitive advantage. And so that is one of the reasons why there's the code itself is developed, and then once we're ready to launch it, we publish it. It's open source, and then it can go through a short a period of public vetting and some extra testing and things like that. But by the time it's on our chain, no one else has had the opportunity over the months that it took to create it, to basically, copy what we're doing and go off and do their own thing, and then, launch a competing chain that has, miraculously all the features that we do because, they've been watching what we've been doing. And
yes.
So in any case, but yeah, I guess to more directly answer your question, Chris, it is something that's on our radar, and we do have a number of different plans and ideas about it that we've been exploring, and it will likely be an ongoing process over the next 6 months to a year or so to fully achieve these particular goals in terms of the sidechain technology. So, we did mention this last summer when we were looking into possibly being funded by the DAO, that this was something that we, we would like to do, and that we would be willing to do if we have the funds. With that said, that's still on our radar. As something to be done possibly in parallel with a number of the other features that we're developing.
I think that sounds pretty good. I want to come to that topic later a little bit in our part about side chains and so on. But yeah, thank you very much for sharing all the code and to let us know that you're going to work on that as very good news for everybody.
Well, and I guess one thing that's important to relate to those who are not very familiar with this, and you guys are going to hear me, and I apologize to those for whom this is 101, right? But from what we've learned in our experience in the history of all of this that's led up to graphene technology, right? We have noticed that there are certain truths, right? Even if you guys, Crypto Prometheus and Data and the Peerplays team, even if they release open source code right as soon as they're going to use it, the first mover advantage is really pretty low, because there are people who get spun up on this stuff very quickly, I've noticed. And these certain people just kind of tend to hang around, and you never know when they're going to jump in and do something. You never know when they're going to see this commit and they're going to go, oh, wow, I didn't know that I had this option. And then they start building a bunch of stuff. It takes them maybe a little bit of time to get spun up, but it's negligible once this happens. And it does happen, which is how you see, thousands of different altcoins out there, right? So the same thing is going to be the situation for graphene chains and different features that they can add on to them in the future.
Right. Yeah, and I think that, one thing that we obviously everyone has to keep in mind with these open source chains is that the network effect is really cannot be understated. The importance of that type of loyalty, so to speak, and we all know that one main place that loyalty comes from is if you have skin in the game, right? If you have partial ownership of that network, people are going to be more inclined to use, what they have a stake in. And so this is one of the reasons why we've, chosen to do an auction crowd sale rather than, for example, mining, like Steem did, is because, we want to make sure that no matter what, whatever type of person that may or may not understand how to mine, can have the opportunity this fall in the auction crowd sale to get in and to get a stake so that, they can so that they're on board in that way at getting in on the ground floor. Obviously, these tokens are going to pay out a portion of the profits that come into the network. So it's unlike any other cryptocurrency token that really has existed in that it pays to hold. I guess we could say that Steem Power sort of has that same quality too. So again, these are just amazing innovations that are coming down the pipe. But yeah, the network effect and the loyalty that is earned and gained, and this is part of what we've been strategizing over the past few weeks is different ways that we're going to promote and get people on board that is really going to draw them in from the existing gaming platforms, offering them things that they can't get on these other gaming platforms, existing Texas Hold'em, for example, platforms, sites, websites, and the sports betting as well. We're going to really be able to draw in some new users in that way, and that's what helps. Getting back to what you were saying, Fuzzy, just because someone else happens to have the technology then at that point, and they can see what we've created and they can sort of create their own version. Well, we're going to have potentially a huge network effect that will sort of counterbalance that, and it won't be as as bad of a situation as it would be if we were all just sort of fighting over the same code and trying to offer people a million different solutions for the same thing. So that's another thing that we have going for us is we're really working on putting together ways to build our network effect, which of course will build that part of the value for all the holders as well.
Real quick here, there are two questions by G Chicken. Now, I want to make sure, is everybody okay if we cover those? Because it might take, these are two questions that will probably take about 5 minutes each to answer. So if anybody wants to say no right now, they want to end this portion and move to the next portion, please let me know.
Why don't we call, if no one has any objections, why don't we call these the last questions? Because we are going a little bit over here, and I want to make sure that
I love this, and this is more Peerplays and BitShares today than anything else. But of course, this is something that everybody's interested in now next because of Steem, right? So, I mean, I don't mind ending this or keeping it going. It's really up to you guys. I don't want to cut you off though either.
I can answer real quick. Actually, I'll put on my my speed hat. And G-Chicken's first question is, do you think that the Peerplays token profit-sharing functionality will be considered similar to a dividend? And is there any legal concerns with that? We've got actually a number of lawyers that we've been discussing this with, and actually what we've come up with and what we're going to be publicly putting out is very, very interesting and very, very positive, actually. Just the way that delegated proof of stake has been designed is really, in my opinion, a work of genius. Probably the result of the guys at Cryptonomics and all of their lawyers that they were consulting for the years that they put all this together. And so yeah, in terms of legal concerns, it's not in any way, shape, or form as dire as a lot of people would think it would be. There's there's a lot of positive stuff there. So, and there's going to be more. We're going to be putting out a lot of information about this in the coming months. So, and it's going to be really eye-opening. So the second question is, will the Peerplays sharedrop distribution, will exchanges that choose not to honor the sharedrop to their customers be excluded from the distributions? Yeah, all exchange addresses are excluded from the share drop. So any public, most of the, pretty much all the exchanges, as far as I'm aware, have public addresses that they hold their users' tokens in. All of them are publicly visible. There's not a huge amount of exchanges that trade the BTS token, just a handful. So none of those addresses will be share dropped onto, which means none of the exchanges will be receiving Peerplays tokens to ostensibly distribute to their holders. We didn't want to mess with having to figure out which exchanges would commit to it, which wouldn't. In the past, exchanges have committed to it and then not done it. And we've also had an issue with exchanges in the past in BitShares, which have received a bunch of tokens or taken or just used their users' tokens and voted with those shares, which we consider to be a violation of ethics, so to speak. It's kind of like giving your keys to the valet and then having your valet take your car for a spin around town. It's not the
Only
agreement.
far worse.
Unless you explicitly agree to something like that, it's an ethical violation in our opinion. And so these things, rather than opening ourselves up to having to figure out and to get agreements from all the operators from these exchanges, and just to clarify, it's not at all that we think that operators to exchanges are crooks or anything like that. There's plenty of fair and honest players that operate exchanges, but having that possibility out there just didn't make any sense. And so we decided just to exclude all of the exchange addresses, by principle, from the beginning, and avoid everything. And then IntelliGuy asked something about mining and if it will be a problem with Peerplays. Peerplays doesn't have any mining at all. The Peerplays graphene chain will be the full proof of stake version of Depot. So it won't be a hybrid version like the Steem chain. So so that's it. I think that's all the questions. And I'll just wrap up and say thank you guys very much for listening and for your questions. And we'll be back next week with more.
Well, thank you, I will say, to all of you guys for attending, but also for you guys joining up and giving Peerplays updates. The transparency is what this is here for. And if everybody's noticed, these Hangouts have gone from talking just about BitShares to now Peerplays and BlockPay and some other cool things that are going to be being added to BTS over time. But there's, in addition, now we're starting to see other graphene chains pop up that we're covering. So the breadth of these Hangouts discussions are expanding, and we're going to be bringing other guests on. And this type of transparency is what a lot of the new people to cryptocurrency that you guys are going to be bringing in and Steem are going to be bringing in, that we let them know that this is something that's like a foundation. It's a solid rock where there's a bunch of ICOs out there that nobody really knows what's going on with them. They at least know that these have a community. So thank you guys very much for helping to build that community. And Chris is up next, guys, here, and that is number 2 at $9.94, BlockPay and BitShares Munich. This is going to be about the pre-ICO updates, liquidity programs for, I'm assuming, smart coins or UIAs on BitShares, and a new BitShares website design. So, Chris, are you there?
Absolutely, yes.
Would you like to take the talking stick and give everybody some updates, and we can get talking about the liquidity programs too?
Yeah, I think we really have a lot of topics today. Just want to go through that one by one. First, as probably all of you already noticed, we are going to close the pre-ICO for BlockPay this Sunday, 8 p.m. German time. So far, the pre-ICO was going really well. We are very happy with the results, and we are almost closing up to 1,000 bitcoins totally raised, and a good chunk of that is actually also in BitShares, which is very good because that means we can really use these BitShares tokens for our upcoming liquidity programs on the DEX. And if you have a couple of more questions, now is a good time to really ask that. Another point basically is for the BlockPay ICO. Some of you got confused, I think, like in the Bitcoin Talks forum. We also have another thread talking about an Echo coin or Echo ICO. We are not related to this post. This is a different team. For the BlockPay ICO, the BlockPay tokens, they are including all three products. So that includes BlockPay, our Echo social messenger, and also Stealth. If some of you were wondering if you're going to bring up another ICO or token for Echo, we're not going to do that. This is all in the current pre-ICO covered, and I'm very happy. Actually, we got all the funds together to really kick off development for all three products, and I'm really looking forward to give you a couple of more updates about when we are going to release BlockPay, when we are going to start working on Stealth, and Echo will basically come next summer. Do we have some questions before we are closing with the pre-ICO this Sunday?
Yes, I've got a question if you don't mind. I'm just not really too sure. When you mentioned pre-ICO, I mean, how is that different to a normal ICO?
Well, the difference here is basically that you do an ICO if you have like a really nice platform or a really good product. And if you're not really there yet, then you can basically do like a smaller crowdfunding so that you can build basically the first prototypes. And we decided to do a pre-ICO because we need to raise the funds for the current product that we have, and that is BlockPay, which is going to launch pretty soon. But we are not ready with Stealth, and we're not ready with Echo. And if you think about like, interesting or well-funded ICO, like a Lisk or Wave or Ethereum style ICO, then you need to have a lot of collateral. You need to have a lot of products or a platform you can offer that people really see you are worth to get this kind of amount of funding. And that's why we are calling it now pre-ICO. It's a small amount. And then when we are basically can prove our vision, our team, our development, our products within the next couple of months, I think then we are really ready to kick it off with an auction style ICO, where then we really get to show that we are really able to manage a big amount of funds and that we can really scale with the funds we will receive.
That's excellent. Thank you for the explanation. That really helps.
Just to add something on what you asked on what's the difference between pre-ICO and ICO, is that as Chris said, we are trying to maintain the funds that we get. We want to get them in a good way, so we don't want to waste unnecessary money on the things that, for example, other companies are doing. So we want to maintain our pre-ICO as how can I say this, to keep it with our company and do our best with it. And as Chris said, doing the big ICO will help us push more the products such as Echo and Stealth and other products that we have,
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, basically we really want to just move step by step and grow basically with the challenges and with the market and so on, because you also have to consider BlockPay is a really exciting product and it's going to really change a lot. And we really push it forward in a lot of different stores. So right now we have over 60 global ambassadors who are ready to sell. We actually closed down the current application for ambassadors because this is really the maximum we can handle right now. So we're going to be in a lot of different cities and a lot of different restaurants, bars, and so on. But you have to also consider, if there is not a market, if people are not starting to use Bitcoin in the market and to consume the Bitcoin, then we will not really be successful with BlockPay. It will not work out. So we have to really go step by step by step to bring BlockPay into the stores. And on the other side, we also have to educate the regular consumers to really use it.
Yes, and I think also that Steemit is going to help a lot, because it's the first time that we've got a platform that appeals to everybody on the social media side of things, where before Bitcoin was a bit of a foreign thing, but social media everybody knows. So they're getting their feet wet into crypto by going through Steemit, essentially. So I think that's going to help you.
Definitely, yeah. We are also working together with the team behind the road boards for Steem. I think what is it, Steem roads or Steem road boards or something.
Steem Drive, you mean, for the
Steem Drive.
billboards? That's actually me, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So we are working with you together to really bring Steem on the market and to tell a lot of people about it. And I'm very excited for that, because I really want to close the loop between Steem and BlockPay, where people can just earn their money digital online and then use it locally in their stores and their communities, and spend their Steem dollars on products they really need for their everyday life, and to really give it a use.
Definitely, that's going to be very exciting, I believe.
Just to answer the question from Val Kul, yeah, how is the ambassadors program doing? Are you getting a lot of people signing up for it? Just for you to know, we just closed our ambassadors program because, as Chris said, we have over 60 people, and it's getting hard to maintain all these people and to answer all the questions and everything. So we just closed it for the moment. So we are actually operating in, I would say, 38 to 40 countries with 60 ambassadors. And of course, we have at the moment 7 head of ambassadors in each continent. So we have in one head of ambassadors in the US that is dominating the US and Canada. We have in Mexico, we have in Central America, we have in South America, we have in Europe, UK, we have in Australia, and that was a good strategy for us to delegate a little bit more work,
Is there a way that you guys can see potentially hiring somebody to help organize and manage that program?
Good question, Fuzzy. So the thing was that I am managing the ambassadors program, and we had too much people. The requests that we had were too much, and I'm the only one managing all this, so I decided to take heads for each region or continent or country, and they're completely reporting to us, so
Gotcha.
yeah, because it's too much to handle. It's too much to handle. We have so much questions from not just ambassadors but from merchants. So we decided just to take heads from each part from the world, and they are the ones in charge to manage all the ambassadors in that region, in that country, in that city. That will help us a lot, because we cannot manage 200, 300, 500 people worldwide.
Sure. And one thing I would say that would be helpful would be to be able to give them, since you were saying that you already have them in various locations, to be able to have their own website that's actually customized for that location and in the language of the people who are in those regions, right? So you would actually be able to have them funnel in other people and maybe even do BlockPay meetups and stuff like that.
That's all the thing. Thanks for that idea. That's all the thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and to all you guys, that we are currently, as Chris said, for example, in Europe, we have a lot of people, we have businesses, and we have consumers that are actually already open for digital currencies like Bitcoin. Yeah, Canada is one, Europe is one, Australia is one. So it depends in which regions we're operating, and of course, as you said, for example, in Mexico, the head of Mexico, Angie, she asked me like, Rodrigo, I think that there's little people here paying on cryptocurrencies, on digital currencies. So I told her, okay, we're gonna use a different strategy, and we're gonna start creating communities where the market cap of digital currencies is low. So, for example, we're going to start creating communities in Mexico, Central America, Honduras, where I come from. I already have the guy there. South America, that's Miguel. And other parts like Romania, we're going to start creating communities in which the heads of ambassadors will start doing marketing with their own language in that region. We'll start joining friends, talking more about it, doing more meetups and everything, so that then as BlockPay, we can have more leverage on telling businesses, okay, you see, now people like it, people are interested in it. Now you can install BlockPay, and that will be of course, a much easier strategy, to help those parts of the world that are not digital friendly,
And of course, we're also going to combine that basically with Steem, because I think like if you really think about before you tell somebody how Bitcoin works, it's way easier to sell them basically on Steem, and that is a very, very nice, easy way to get people together, to have a really nice meetup or hangout community, and get people basically hooked on cryptos.
Yes, definitely.
Well, and the thing is that as these third world countries, there's one thing that makes BlockPay very interesting for me, and that is even in third world countries, smartphones are starting to become fads. Like they're being used by just about everyone. This is a ubiquitous technology, and it's only going to become more so. So the fact of that means that in addition to like me as a merchant being able to accept this and have a perfectly organized ledger essentially for how like for the income and the inflows and outflows of our business on a blockchain. In addition to that, this is something that first world people get, but the third world people are going to get that, and they're also going to get point of sale systems that are peer-to-peer essentially. All you really need is two cell phones, the merchants and the buyers, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be
Yes.
quite easy to really kick that off, and the ambassadors are a really, really great way to really reach the local communities. They are in charge of creating meetups and talk to people, and get basically really the word out, and we're going to support them with everything we have, and that's going to be quite interesting. If you have a couple of more questions for the pre-ICO, then just contact us over the social media or just send us a mail. We are also on Telegram. I'm basically monitoring all channels, and we're really looking forward for a nice end this Sunday. I would like to move on actually with the next topic. I have a couple of more, and that is the topic of liquidity programs. So in the last couple of Hangouts, we were already talking about how can we increase liquidity. We were discussing a lot about liquidity rewards. So for market makers, could we pay them any kind of dividends and so on? I would really like to think about or talk about today about a different angle. Since we are announcing BlockPay, we got reached by a lot of people are planning or looking into integrating or adding their own coin on the BitShares exchange. And I started to basically set up a really nice little tutorial for the different communities to walk them basically step by step through how do I add a new coin. And I could need actually some feedback from you guys on that one. I'm going to share a short Google Docs link with all of you. And what it explains is just basically, if you are a new community or you want to add, for example, your Dogecoin on the BitShares decentralized exchange, you have a couple of options, and you need to know the documentation. You need to know how the different features work and how you can secure everything. And sidechain is one of the different options you can do. And I would really like to get your feedback on this document, and maybe you can also provide some insights that we just have a really nice document that we can send to a community and tell them, okay, if you want to onboard, this is how you do it. This is all your documentation for your developers, and this is how you should do it basically to sell it to your community, because there's still a little bit of a confusion between a market-packed asset and a user-issued asset, and what kind of risk each of these two coins have for everybody.
I'll pledge 1,000 SBD to this. If
So I'm
you
just
guys want to manage people who help.
So just sharing the document, because I think I really get approached by a lot of people, and they're actually quite new to BitShares, and they think actually today there was one guy who thought that BitShares is built on Bitcoin, so he was not really clear of how that all works. But to really give them an easy way to get in, I think that can be really helpful to bring new people to the platform, to show them how easy it could be to add a coin, and then also to be added to BlockPay and also to Echo and so on.
Yes, G-Chicken, there are a lot of people who have no clue what's going on with BitShares. This is one of the things that's most important, in my opinion, because when people are starting to look at graphene technology, they're going to wonder where it came from. They're going to know they're going to want to know a little bit more about it. They're going to want to, some of them are going to want to dig into it and actually build their own chains using this. So we need to make that process as easy as possible, especially if we were wanting to have all these essentially altcoin chains that provide various services, right?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of altcoin communities, and what I see, I think like what we're going to see over the next couple of months is just that a lot of those communities are slowly realizing that maintaining and running their own chain is quite expensive. It's quite, you have to hire a lot of people, you have to keep up the miners, maybe you have to keep up your witnesses and so on. And some of them are now looking for alternatives, and a lot of I think communities are now thinking about adding a coin on the Ethereum chain, and some of them are also thinking about adding a coin on the BitShares chain, just to see, okay, this is maybe a better way how to really use the synergies and get together with other communities.
Yeah, it makes it much easier, and it's I've always thought that it would be possible to use Follow My Vote and all of these things to add another element of value to those communities, because essentially what are they? They're communities that love cryptographically secured tokens. It doesn't matter how that token is secured if the community has all the tools they need to govern themselves and find consensus, or at least a level of it that is transparently logged. You see, these are the types of things that we can, that as we build these other tools, they're all going to just give people more of a reason to build another graphene chain, or to look at how to build onto the BitShares chain. You know, these are the things that I think that your documentation project needs to be the final place where people go whenever they get interested in graphene. And we need to have people who are interested. If there's anybody who's interested here in helping him, Chris, let me know, and I'll give generous tips to people who help you.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. I just actually want to give you a little bit of an how you say, a lead. I don't know if you saw that already. There's this project eDinar and the eDinar coin. We discussed it in the Telegram group a couple of days ago. Going to post the link now. Basically, eDinar is a complete fork of BitShares 2.0. They completely copied everything They're even using our documentation, but they're not crediting us. So they also don't have, as far as I don't know, they don't use the MIT license yet. It's interesting to see those kind of like copycats now coming up in a certain way and really using our technology to promote their own blockchain. Maybe somebody of you has some other insights, knows more about eDinar. So far as I know, it is a typical MLM scheme, so it's not really a real blockchain in this way. It is more for multi-level marketing and trying to sell people on 20% interest per month. I'm just letting you know that that is not that is happening, and it will happen more and more. That people will really look into the graphene, into the BitShares code, and start copying that for their own projects. So it's going to be interesting to see what will come up over the next couple of days and months.
Well, I kind of suspect that even though we're going to have things like this, the chains that offer actual services are going to be the ones that really shine, because that's going to be what's going to onboard regular everyday people. And the value of the service itself is going to a large extent, bootstrap and back the value of that currency until a large group of people actually say, yes, we're going to utilize this currency, and we're going to all accept it as a commonly utilized instrument, right? Chris, IntelliGuy says, Chris, wondering why this document lives on Google Docs as opposed to Steemit. Seems Steemit would be a nicer platform, plus the author could get paid. As major revisions in the document happens, you re-release the document with a new version. For instance, Fuzzy pledged 1000 SBD. The document itself, when released, could be making its own SBD.
Yeah, as you can see, the document is not really finished. I'm just collecting all the different sources for documentation for the APIs. Also a couple of examples, because I think that is important. Like if you are looking into BitShares, you really want to see, okay, what else is out there? And that's why it's not on Steem yet. I want to add a couple of more details, especially about what is the difference when I want to create a coin. Do I decide to take a market-packed asset coin, or do I decide to take a UIA? That is something that I really need to get into there and basically list all the benefits and all the risk for each decision, because you can do a UIA coin, but who owns the issuer account? What do you do with the password? Do you destroy it, or do you just keep it and then update the coin from time to time?
Plus, you got to enlist the aid of the witnesses to publish feeds for that market peg asset too.
Yeah, that as well. But you can also structure a UIA like an MPA, just with a little bit difference. So you can do actually quite a lot of things, and I just want to work that out for the communities so that they can really make their own decision. What is the best way how to add themselves?
And with regard
to the platform.
To the document, it'd be. I mean, it's one of those kind of documents that you can keep adding to, because there's always some other little asset and facet of BitShares that you might have left out. For one thing, how do developers get ramped up? And if somebody says, "Hey, I got this great idea for a project, how do I ramp up and develop and get a community of developers to help me out with it, and what is it? Why would I want to use this platform?" So there's so much that goes into a document that you've started there, Chris. So I would say getting people started.
It could be a book in its own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as you can see at the bottom, I just list basically all the core links, link to the white paper, link to the API, link to integration. Testnet, very, very important. People should test on the testnet first, not on the live chain, and then a couple of examples so that people can really look around. And I hope that over the time that we can really have like a nice booklet that we can send out to people who want to start or get started with BitShares. Just see, okay, this is how it works. I want to talk about the next topic. I just had that a little bit discussion with Brindle Swan when we started, and maybe he has a good idea. We are planning now a small hackathon this fall here in Munich, together with a blockchain accelerator program. We are sitting together, Daniel and I, and we want to do a hackathon for the end of the year in Munich. and I'm looking for a good challenge. I want to provide the BitShares API,
Liquidity
maybe the Steem API, and I'm looking for ideas, options. What could we give the teams to really tell them, okay, this is the challenge. You have a full weekend, play with the APIs, and show us what you can do. Do you have any ideas we could do?
I think liquidity bots, or creating an asset and creating liquidity for it and seeing who can create the most liquidity for it.
That's a great idea. Now, obviously, you have to have some funds to do a good job of liquidity, but I think that could be a great way to bootstrap people with the API, especially, and then maybe get them intrigued enough to where, hey, maybe if I can just get a little bit of funds started here, maybe I can make this liquidity bot make me some real money over time.
That could be something, yeah. That could be also done on the testnet, basically. So when we're preparing the testnet a little bit earlier, then we have like everything set up, and then we can just give them a little bit of money and let them trade amongst themselves.
Yeah, that works perfect for a testnet.
The one idea I had for you was kind of to have some of the participants maybe work with a user-issued asset I started a while ago that I haven't done really anything with. It's a negative user-issued asset called Schmacks, and the idea with that user-issued asset, yeah, with Schmacks, if you send them to somebody, you then lock them and you put a comment on them, and it's kind of a permanent black mark on somebody's record. So you don't want to get a Schmack. And I've also created about 100 accounts of people like Bill Clinton and whoever, just popular people to hate on, that people may someday pay me to schmack them and schmack their accounts, or to create other accounts for people. So that's something, and all your projects can be done somewhat on Steemit, and it's something where we have to look at splitting the rewards of, but I would be glad to throw that project into the mix.
And how much knowledge do you need before to get started?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I've created this user-issued asset, but I, really how to monetize it, how to work it out. I haven't done too much with that, but I think you guys have all the knowledge.
No, I mean, like the question is, if I have 30 students from the IT university here, they're not familiar with BitShares, but maybe they're interested in blockchain and they know a little bit about Bitcoin and so on. How fast can they get up to speed with this kind of task? So
yeah, I think
you really want to have, you want to have a challenge that people can really just, they read the documentation, they're up to speed maybe in 1-2 hours, and then we can really give them a nice challenge. I think Ken had also another idea. He was asking for find, improve a security hole in graphene. I think that could be also quite interesting, and we can have like a prize for that. So basically a hacking challenge. Actually today in Telegram, Jen was also asking that. That is one of the new guys in the Telegram chat, to white hack basically BitShares and see if they can find any kind of problems. And just attacking a couple of the witnesses and see if they can bring that down. So that could be also quite interesting to really do like a stress test and try to find loopholes in the BitShares platform.
You're talking
on the
about
testnet,
network warfare.
on the testnet, because if you're doing that on the live net, it would be much better to do that on a testnet if you could. The nature of the attack may require more breadth than the testnet can provide, but attacking the main net, I don't know. What do you guys think about people attacking the main net as a way to find security holes?
I feel like I may have had some security holes going on just now during this mumble. I was trying to convert just some of my BitGold and other assets to BitShares for the sharedrop, and I haven't been using BitShares much lately, and it seems like I lost about 5,000 BitShares somehow in the middle of it, but anyway.
I had an unusual experience the other day myself with it, and I haven't figured out for sure whether or not it was just an observation anomaly or whether or not I actually did lose some funds. But in doing a transfer between two of my accounts, it suddenly showed up a different figure than what I had initially started with, and it could be just a caching problem, but it raised my eyebrow, that's for sure.
I think there are some little bugs, but I think overall that there would have been people, a lot of people who have been testing to make sure that it's safe, and others who probably hack it because, or try to hack it. But I don't think that we've had any of those problems thus far. Now, yeah, of course, we're not Pollinex size or anything like that, so maybe we're a lot safer because of that. But overall, I think that we've proven relatively safe. Now, the thing that I was going to say to you, Chris, was what is keeping you guys from getting the contact information from the participants that you have this hackathon with, and telling them that you will have hackathons in the future, maybe monthly hackathons, and get like a newsletter to people who are wanting to do these hackathons, and you can pass them out to people and actually give them cryptocurrency rewards.
Well, we are working right now on the right settings, and we are also talking with a couple of partners. So we're going to have a couple of insurance companies and banks helping us as partners for this event. And also, I'm looking for a volunteer from the BitShares community, somebody who has really some good insight of the coding that can help us basically to bring up the teams up to speed with the API, so that we can really have a cool program there, so that people can really get experience and get closer to BitShares. So if anybody is close to Munich and wants to come over in November for the hackathon, I'm more than happy to really welcome you here. We're going to help you to get everything set up for you, and of course we're going to use this event as well for marketing, because BlockPay is one of the organizers, and we are working together with Nexus Square Lab, or Nexus Squared. I don't know if you're familiar with that accelerator program, but Daniel also has a lot of good contacts, so it's going to be a really, really fun event here, and it's going to be in our new co-working space here in Munich, so really in a lively area. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to have a lot of fun with this small hackathon and get that all going.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing more about it. Thank you very much, Chris, for bringing this stuff up. And I know that we didn't get to cover all of the topics in depth, but I tried to cover the liquidity a little bit for us too. And I know that the documentation is very important for BitShares. So
do we have like another 5 minutes just for a little talk about the website design? It's just a very quickie here.
I would say, does anybody have a problem with that? Just say yes if you do. I think we're going to have time for Jademont to cover his topic here for about 40 minutes still too.
So I just posted you a link. I'm working with a design team. This is like the latest one I got. There's still a lot of things that we want to change in terms of the bitshares.org homepage design, but I just want to show you guys that I'm working on that, and this is not a dead project, even if I didn't get the funding for that yet. I'm really gonna just give you a little update what I think could be quite interesting to really bring BitShares closer to new people. And one of the main ideas is to make it a little bit more similar to PayPal, and to separate the messages and the explanation of the BitShares blockchain into 3 areas. And the one is basically to explain it to private consumers. So what is the benefit if I'm a private person? What can I earn or do on BitShares? And then for businesses, for startups, so when I want to build on BitShares, what should I do, and what is my benefits? And then really for developers who want to build their own platform, exchange, trading markets, and so on. And this is 3 things where I really would like to start updating the messaging and make it easier for people to get started with BitShares.
Well, the overall look of the site looks very nice. I think you've done a great job in the overall look and feel of it. At least I find it appealing.
Yeah.
I am curious why did you have that image of donut? That's kind of curious.
Well, these are just placeholders. I'm still selecting the best potential pictures, but
Okay.
it's just a placeholder. And also, we don't really have a newsletter. Nobody's running that, so we're gonna take this slide out with the newsletter, and we're gonna move up the 3 sections from consumer, businesses, and developers. And also the footer at the bottom going to be completely changed. That's going to be closer to the Ethereum footer, where you have like all the links to the different communities. You have the Twitter where you see that things happening, and then of course the links to all the documentation so that you can really get started.
It looks slick, man.
Yeah, I like it.
So that's basically the update from my side. Thank you very much for all the cool feedback, especially for the hackathon. I'm very excited to get that off. And I'm going to keep you up to date also about the website design. And at the end, we really have to agree what we should do with the new website, if we should do it, and how that should look like, what is the content on it. And really would like to crowdsource all those things over the next couple of days and weeks, and then get it all up for this fall.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much again, Chris. Now, with this said, we are at number 3, and that is going to be Jademont or Zaoshin. Are you guys different? He's going to be talking about a new light wallet called BTSABC. Jademont, you there?
Hello, everyone. Can we have?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me
We hear
clearly? Okay, sorry for my Chinese accent. So I just want to update
What?
everyone.
Don't be sorry for that.
And there is a new web wallet powered by BTSABC. So I'm the co-founder of this website. So basically, this is the base of the Chinese fans, and we have over 1,000 users for now. And there are a lot of games and applications on our web wallets. So, for example, we just released some insurance of the traffic ticket. So some of you may read my article on Steemit. And also, we are organizing a lot of meetups in China. And recently, we just deployed API for the Light Wallet and the Web Wallet. So due to the Peerplays and the price fluctuation, a lot of users are coming to the exchange of BitShares. So the previous gateways like OpenLedger and others cannot sustain such a large flow. So we are using basically the whole Asia can use the new API gateway, and hopefully we will update more progress soon. And I hope everyone can try out Web Wallet, because there are a lot of new bit assets inside. So that's all.
So really quickly, Chris gave us BTSABC.org as a link. So anybody who's listening, feel free to go there. Now, what is this website? Is this connected in any way to BitShares?
Yeah, this is a BitShares theme websites. So all the content on this website is related to BitShares. So it has the tutorials of BitShares, and it has the introduction to the bit assets, and there's a forum on this website, and of course the download link of the latest wallet. Anything you can find about BitShares, you will find it on this website. Currently, it's mainly in Chinese, but part of the sections are in English, like the bit assets rating.
Yeah, I'm looking here at the website, and Google translates it for me, so most of it I understand. And it looks like you guys also have a link to the Light Wallet directly on the page, right?
Yes.
I think
And
it's
you said that
actually a
you've
really
brought.
nice page because you see so much content on there. It's a typical Chinese page because they like it always flashy and stuff. But I really have to say it's good work. I think it's a very great way
It's clean.
to get in, and it's actually one of the best sites actually that we have for BitShares right now to really bring everybody up to date. And also with the new insurance program that you can buy on the BitShares Chinese site, it's pretty cool. Really nice stuff.
Yeah, by the way, we are collaborating with BlockPay. So actually, I will be the ambassador of CCEDK in China. So we will post the latest news about CCEDK, Open Ledger, and BlockPay on our website. So basically, most of the Chinese BitShares users are using our website to know the latest progress of certain Peerplays, CCDK, or BlockPay, other BitShares related applications. So I hope if you have any requirement about the promotion of your application in China, so you may contact me. So I'll leave my email on this on Mumble.
Okay. Now, out of curiosity, Once Upon a Time is asking, what is your username on Steemit?
So I'm Jademont.
So at Jademont.
Yes.
And that's spelled
So I'm pretty active in
Jademont.
Yeah, Jademont.
So you go ahead and you post your content. You post a lot of content to there.
Yeah, I mainly post contents about BitShares.
Sure. Yeah, this does look really nice. And it's interesting to see what's going on over in a country that I generally don't understand the language. So out of curiosity, while we have you here, Jademont, what do you see from the Chinese community or even the Eastern community in general with respect to their opinions of BitShares in the crypto community?
Well, actually, the whole cryptocurrency community in China is very active, but the main problem is lack of communication between the Western users like you guys and us, China or
Agreed.
Japan or Korea. So the main obstacle might be the language, and also we don't have a lot of technical guys like you guys. So you may know Alt, very famous guy in BitShares community, and Abit. So they are also Chinese. So, but I can only list two of them. That's all. And Abit, Alt, they are my very good friends. So we are all in Shanghai. So no, Abit now is in Germany, but he was in Shanghai. I'm living in Shanghai now. So I think the language is the main problem. And also we know little about each other. So that's why I'm building BTSABC. So we want to be the bridge between Western users and Chinese. Yeah. And also BlockPay is contacting us a lot. So there's an ambassador for BlockPay. His name is Yao, Y-A-O. So Ken Code or Chris, may know him. Yeah, he's also my good friend. We talk a lot every day. So we are one team. So we are working together for a lot of things. Yeah, Chris knows him. So I hope in future, BTSABC will play a more important role on connecting the other part of the world with Chinese. Yeah, that's it.
So you guys have plans for... Go ahead.
Okay, there's one guy, his name is Intelli guy, asking me, other than learning Chinese, what do you recommend? So I recommend you browse more BTSABC or .org. So we will post the latest news both about Western communities and also about our community. So basically, if you use Google Play, you can guess the main meaning of this post. That's it.
Well, I'm glad that you came in here because to a large degree, that's what you're doing right now here, right? It looks like you also have a QQ group on here that people could join at BTSABC.org.
Yeah, we have more than 5 QQ group. The total number, the total amount of people is over 4,000.
That's insanity.
Yeah, but not all of them are, are the fans of BitShares. Well, they want to know BitShares, but they have some BitShares, but not the big fan like us, But
the people who live in
total number of people we can send news to is over 4,000.
So what you're saying, though, is that there are a lot of people who are really new to the space who are learning about BitShares now.
Yeah. A lot of them are new to BitShares. For example, in the past 2 weeks, we have about 700 new users. So they came into the QQ group, asked us about BitShares, but they know the news about this is thanks to the Peerplays team. Because they have a snapshot to sharedrop to the BitShares holder. And luckily, the biggest cryptocurrency exchange, BTC38, have this news on their website. And this news was written by me.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, they published my news about Peerplays, so a lot of cryptocurrency players knew Peerplays, and then they knew BitShares, and then they joined the group of BitShares. I won't say that they are fans of BitShares. Maybe they just want to know BitShares, or just want to, take some profit from speculating. We don't care. Just once they came to our group and we were introduced to them, and they will know the benefits of BitShares, and they will know the good and the bad of BitShares. I hope they will stay.
Well, you've been here for quite some time, right? I mean, you've been here since the very early days, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I have been in the BitShares community actually from the first day of BTS.
I thought it was very, very early.
Yeah, that's why I was the local moderator of Chinese subforum of BitShares Talk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was very busy in the last year, so I was inactive for a few months. And due to my personal reason, and now I come back to work on BitShares again. Yeah, that's my story.
Well, there are a lot of people who are going around doing very valuable things for BitShares to get the word out. And it's not always right there in front of people who are holders of BTS to see who are doing these things. So it's nice to know that you got that news on BTC38 and that you've been working on this stuff. Now, do you post those things to Steemit if somebody wants to support your work?
Yes, we have a CN tag in Steemit, but there are not a lot of users, Chinese users on Steemit as in BitShares, because the registration on Steemit is difficult. First, you have to have
CN as in for China?
CN tag. Yeah, CN tag. So me and Upvote, we are maintaining the CN tag. If you look around CN tag, you will see that Upvote upload most of the posts with CN tag, if you write it in Chinese. So basically, Steemit and BTSABC and BTC38 and the QQ group and the WeChat group and some other blockchain forums are all our base to broadcast BitShares related topics.
Wow, so there's multiple forums.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can also confirm because I just started to join the Chinese groups here. They are very, very active, and there are a couple of really good members. I mean, Xiao Xiang is one of them, and then there's also Yao and the others. And Yao especially, he translated all the BlockPay announcements and even with some of the interviews we gave, everything into Chinese and posted it on Steemit. So that was really a lot of good work from their side, and it is really a giant community who's really just getting ready to onboard onto BitShares. And I think with the new interface, with the new products, and also with the new website, there's a lot more to come also from the Chinese community, and I really hope that we can have more discussions with them to really understand what is their demands, what they really want to see on the platform, and that we can really grow that together.
Well, out of curiosity, Jademon, just so everybody else knows, is there the YY channel still available? Because I know that there are a lot of QQs, and those are like IRCs. And what I'm talking about is like is called YY, and it's like TeamSpeak or Mumble or Ventrilo, but it's being used primarily by the Chinese community.
YY is a live show, like a live show, video talking. Yeah, it's basically for not for such kind of things like BitShares. Basically for a beautiful girl to show herself, sing or to dance, very for entertainment.
It's for cam girls.
Yeah, cam girl. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wait, this is the BitShares one?
Yeah, well, we can do that, but I doubt it.
No, I know that we used to have a BitShares YY group.
Yeah, we used to have it. We used to have it, and we even invited one girl to promote BitShares, but it was not very successful. So we give up.
Okay. Well, I was not
probably we just need a really nice girl promoting BitShares on YY, then it should really work.
Yeah, because we promote BitShares in China, as we introduced BitShares is a very serious financial tool, not for a cam girl or something.
We won't get into that for that. But what I will say, the reason why I bring it up is why there used to be a group that they were holding in China, or the Chinese community rather. And the reason why we didn't get together with the Chinese community as often was because people didn't really understand how to get into YY, because YY was something that was different from what they were used to. And then the same was the case with the other community too, right? So we had people who didn't want to really go into YY from Mumble and didn't want to go into Mumble from YY. I mean, we had some cross over, but not a whole lot of it. So the reason I ask is just because if there are Chinese community members who are interested in joining up and giving their updates on here, I think it would be a very powerful thing to bring to BitShares in general, just because, like you said, we need to bridge that gap. There's so many things that I have no clue about over in the Chinese community. I know that BTSABC is around because I know you guys have been posting a lot to various locations about your Light Wallet, but I didn't know up until you actually said that you were going to join up here and Chris gave us BTSABC.org. I didn't have the knowledge that you guys have a website that is a news site and talks about a lot of the different things that are going on in BitShares, and many of those are going to be from the Chinese community. So this is a very important news site, I think, that you're talking about bridging our communities. And I think that if there's a way of getting updates from the Chinese community, this is, I would be very welcoming of it. Let's just say that.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
Thank you, man. I am pumped to hear that you guys have 5 QQ groups and 4,000 users in there. I mean, that's a big deal, and these chains are only going to become better and easier to use as we keep creating these initiatives and helping to pay out toward these initiatives, especially towards documentation. And like, I forget, I don't know exactly who said it here, but making translations of all the documentation. Those are foundational elements to us perpetuating this technology. And let's face it, as people replicate this technology, as it's open source, it becomes more possible to do new things and for people to kind of scaffold onto it and build onto it from a location where otherwise they might not have been able to otherwise, right? So it is integral to have this stuff.
Yeah, Ken is just sharing actually a link to. We also have the mobile wallet for BitShares, the smart coins wallet. We also have a Chinese version, and I think we also have a Taiwanese version. We just have to check that we can have that wallet also on F-Droid or just on IPFS, so that the Chinese community can also download that, because the Google Play Store is usually not open or not accessible in China. If you buy a telephone in China, there is no Google products on your Androids. So if you buy a Samsung, there is nothing from Google, and they will not be able to access the apps and the app stores. So this is something that every developer has to consider, that China is a very specific and restricted market. And we have already already a Chinese version ready, and I would really look forward to get that hosted onto Chinese Play stores as well.
Well, real quick, thank you very much, guys. I want to make sure that everybody is, hold on, let me get the guest list. I want you guys to all consider signing it.
I'm actually already have to sign off because I'm going for the next meeting. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. If you have a couple more questions for the pre-ICO, just reach out to us. And I'm really looking forward to discuss more options for the upcoming hackathon. And if you are in Munich during the Bits and Pretzels, just let us know. We're going to have a lot of people here, and it's going to be an awesome time to talk about blockchain, BitShares with a couple of the old guys like Eric Voorhees and so on. And if you want to have a ticket for the Bits and Pretzels, just let me know. I can give you a couple of good discounts.
Well, out of curiosity, while you're there, are you going to record it for everybody?
I think most of it is recorded, and of course we're going to have our own documentation, because we're going to have a stand there with pay for the full days, and yeah, we're going to talk with a lot of people and just promote BlockPay there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be awesome, man. I know that I read about it in what was that? Was it CryptoCoin or CryptoCoin magazine, or was it?
We had an article in Cointelegraph, and this year we're going to have not only Richard Branson coming, but also Kevin Spacey as one of the opening acts, and it's going to be really, really nice to hang out with all those guys and maybe get them into a little bit of blockchain. Let's see.
Heck yeah, man. Dip Kevin Spacey's toes into the blockchain. We need K-Packs on this. Well, I want to just thank everybody who joined up today. You guys really make this possible. Now, I go out and I try to talk to other people about coming on and getting projects that I think are pretty cool. I wait for the days when other people are building graphene chains, but until that day, I want to do some outreach. So anybody who is interested or has connections in other communities that they think that they can trust and that I can trust, reach out to me. Let me know so I can talk to them and bring them on here, because people who are passionate and care about blockchain technology on a level that all of you guys do are going to really bring a lot of value to the space. And I want to make sure that those people who are busting their butts, sacrificing, doing amazing things, that they are able to get their word out without having to join up and pay me or pay us. All they have to do is lobby their own communities to join up and really push their weight around to try to get others to upvote an RSVP. Now, there will be other ways of getting covered, of course. If we don't cover something here during these Hangouts, we always have an after party area where we can talk about pretty much anything. Or you can also do your own Hangouts, and we'll support that by upvoting your content if you add the Beyond Bitcoin tag. But if you help us, we're going to be able to help you. I've earned so far on the official fuzzy count over 13,000 SBD. Almost all of that, I assure you, is going to be spent on trying to make something that everybody who wants to create their own Hangouts will be able to use to distribute tokens to people like you. Because guess what? You guys are the beating heart. And I know that everybody knows my name, but a lot of people don't know who are listening here that there are a lot of people who are here who just listen every week. Some of them who just record, some of them who sit there and talk to each other during the Hangout without, typing. And there's a lot of communication, and there's a lot of valuable people here who are trustworthy and who are busting their butts to bring something valuable to the world with blockchain technology. And we're asking the difficult questions. So as we build these tools, everybody who's helping us by upvoting our content, by spreading the word, by bringing other people who are trustworthy and doing cool things in the crypto space, we're building an army of people who are going to be able to help change the world in ways that really matter. And I know, Dan posted something about changing the world the other day, but I still believe that we all have to, as humans, sit here and really take a deep thought about where we're going with the technologies that we have, and trying at least to have the motive to bring a better world, a world that is safer, that is cleaner, and is freer. And I think that those things are things that we can strive toward, and that it's not something that we create that problem by fighting against it. I think we build Voltron, and if you guys help me find the pieces, we'll put them all together. We'll put the bolts in. It doesn't matter who's the damn sword, but we're going to build some cool things. So thank you guys very much. Share all the content, and make sure to do your best to try to upvote it so we can get some more funds to build these tools. And just so everybody knows, please make sure to sign the guest book so I can keep this log. I can't pass out the tokens yet, but I do have a large list of people who have attended these Hangouts who I will be eventually passing out a bunch of tokens to that should have a decent bit of value. And not to forget the final person who RSVP'd. They didn't RSVP to come on and talk about their project, but they did ask us to consider plugging the BitShares survey that they are posting. They are looking for 200 participants. If you would like to do that, I will provide the link in the Hangout whenever it is posted. So with that said, there's one final thing that I'd like to say thank you to everybody who participated in the Beyond Bitcoin ShareBits logo contest. We posted a bounty of 150 Steem-backed dollars for the best logo that was posted. And the winner, it looks like, is JJ Epic with the ShareBits symbol that is a leaf. It was the best one that was posted. However, we are not going to use any of these ones just because they're not along the theme that the website was proposed to be. Just because the logos were not very much in line with the direction we were wanting to take the theme. But they were excellent. The additions were pretty cool, and I really liked the fact that everybody was interested in participating. So thank you for participating, those who did. And to JJ Epic, congratulations on the 150 SBD. Consider powering it up. Have a good one. Thank you guys very much.
you.